Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to Our Nerdiest Thing. Today we have a very special guest. We are live with author Amber Paige.
Fangirling.
Amber writes romance, contemporary romance, and fantasy novels with happily ever afters.
Our favorite.
When she's not obsessing over commas or letting her imposter syndrome win, you can find her writing, reading, playing video games, or watching too much TV. Her debut novel, Symbol of Hope, is out now. Welcome to the podcast, Amber. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah,
So the reason I gave Mindy a dirty look during your bio is she said happily ever after is our favorite. Like these two.
I know.
Our favorite.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they all died at the end. That's realistic. There was a author at Imaginarium, and like she was talking about how in all her books, like everyone dies, and I immediately like ran to her table after, and I was like, check. So
Oh my God.
she's like, do you want the one about the husband that really loves his wife, but he locks her in the basement and kills her? And I was like, yeah, let's read it. Cassandra.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
I'm not there quite yet.
yeah. No, your books are a little bit sweeter than that, although they do have a edge to them. So well, we can get right down to it. Tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming an author.
Well, it started, I want to say, like when I was in third grade. I loved the idea of creating a story and creating this world. But it didn't really, nothing really developed out of it until I was in about 12th grade, which was when I really started writing. The idea from Symbol of Hope originated when I was in 8th grade. So I was like 13. My friend gave me, this necklace, which is very similar to the one on the cover. And it just kind of formulated the idea. I was really sick at that time. I was dealing with a lot of physical and mental, health problems. So I daydreamed a lot to kind of escape that pain. So the story was constantly on my mind. And then I started writing it in 12th grade. I refuse to find that draft. I don't know.
I don't blame you. We knew everything about everything, and as seniors in high school, didn't we? We're like,
yeah,
smart and worldly.
yeah. It's like I don't ever want to find it. I finished it then. Nothing ever happened out of it. I let the fear of other people reading my work and publishing kind of get in the way. So nothing happened until just recently. The story was always in my mind. Alana was always with me, which is weird, weird to say and think about. I would pick it up, write a couple chapters, drop it. It was always that fear that would sneak back in. So I believe it was last June, I started reading again. And then I was like, I have this book, that I started, all these years ago. I think it might be time to give it a chance. So I did. And then it's been a wild ride, but this is, I finished it and
I have to
it's
say,
out there.
You've created this amazing ARC group on Instagram.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
you had reached out to us, and I would say it was probably January or so. And I'm so glad that you did, because the people that you put into that group are so passionate about what you're doing.
Yes.
And so excited about the characters. And we're all like, we don't really care what you read next. Just make sure we're on this with you.
Yeah.
And so it's been really, really fun. And just watching the transparency of you two, of saying like, okay, we've had some editing issues. If you guys find issues, please send them to me. Because as an ARC reader, you don't ever want to be like, bro, that sentence is not complete. Like,
Yeah.
correct someone. But when you were transparent about what was going on, I was like, oh, okay, here's my highlights.
Yeah. And
It's hard.
when I say there's been some bumps in the road, there's been some major bumps in the road. And it started, with my first editor. And then it just kind of trickled down from there. So I kind of really relied on you guys. I was like, please help me out.
Yeah. Well, and I know I'm going a little bit off of our questions that we sent you, but do you have, since you've self-published in the last year, and so many authors are doing that now, do you have any recommendations for someone that might be doing it the very first time?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all,
I thought you were going to say,
just
don't.
don't do it. No, absolutely do it. I I say this a lot, your story's worth telling, readers may crave your story and they don't know until you release it. It's absolutely terrifying, but the journey's worth it. And my, first advice would be just start writing. Get your ideas out. Flesh it out later. The first draft is always terrible. And when I was told that in the beginning, I was like, no, I can't imagine writing more than the first draft. What are you talking about? You're crazy. And I went through it and I was like, I've been through this like 20 times and it's still not perfect. But so that would be my first, just start writing, flesh it out later, get those bare bones down. And then, when you're ready for an editor, just do your research.
Yeah.
There are so many good ones, especially on Instagram, and they offer like sample edits, and that's how I found my next editor. And I finally feel like I found a good team, so I'm really excited. So just tons of research.
Yeah. I mean, that's the hardest thing too, but thank goodness for
Mhm.
the internet. And even like 20 years ago, people weren't self-publishing because no one was talking about it. It wasn't very easy to do. And I can tell you some of my favorite authors from the last 18 months are all self-published.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's this really awesome awakening in terms of, because the publishing world is very, very hard, and it's rejection after rejection. And Elise Kova talks about that too. Like, she's at the top of her game right now. She had gotten like 200 rejections
my
and she
gosh,
decided to
that's crazy.
self-publish, and now she's like doing amazing, right? Because you're taking a couple people's opinions about your work, and maybe they don't like that type of work, or maybe they weren't in the mood for that work. And so I think the self-publishing game is just super duper cool.
Well, I love too that it's lost. Like, I think it had a stigma for a little while, and
Yeah.
it's totally
Yeah.
lost that. It's no longer
Yeah.
like taboo. It's sort of kind of the way to go now. And I agree with
Yeah.
Dan. Some of my favorite authors are self-published. Most of
Mhm.
my favorite authors are self-published.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
So, Amber, you said that you had started reading again. And
Yes.
so was that you said that was kind of what inspired you to keep going. So what book was
Yeah.
that? I'm interested to know.
Oh gosh, I want to get such flack for this. I do every time.
Is it Twilight? Please tell me it's Twilight.
No, it was A Court of Thorns and Roses.
There's nothing wrong with
Nothing
that.
wrong with
I
that.
know. So
Why are people giving you flack for that?
Yeah.
oh no, because I dropped it.
Oh, yeah.
So
We might give you
I
flack for
think
that.
yeah.
In your defense, the first time I read that book, I read it right when it came out, and I didn't love it. And I loved the last 200 pages, right? And I
Yeah.
remember telling a friend that I didn't want to keep going, and she's like, you must keep going. And it was someone that I
Yeah.
really trusted, and I'm so glad that I did. And
Yeah.
then here we are 1 million years later, and it's
Yeah.
everyone's talking about it. But yeah, it's, if you don't have someone telling you to keep going, that first book,
Yeah, I definitely
she wrote,
I need to pick it. I need to
Where
pick it
did
back
you-
up.
How much did you read? Just the first book, or?
I didn't even finish the first book.
Oh,
is it-
Yeah, so
please take it
I'm-
from us.
yeah.
Read the first book
Yeah.
and then read the second book and then make a decision about how
Okay,
you feel
I
about books
can do
after
that.
book 2.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
after
book
book
2 is
2.
amazing.
But I am grateful for it because it got me back into writing. So it's like
Right. Yeah. So
it
is
has a
there
good thing.
specific book though, growing up, that you were like, I want to be a writer like this person. This person inspired me.
So I hated reading when I was growing up, and I 100% blame my parents because they were throwing these boring books at me. And I was like, if this is what it is, I don't want this. I really started to enjoy reading in 9th grade. I read A Stranger with Your Face, with my face. And that kind of just went downhill from there. And then I discovered The Hunger Games and, Lovely Bones and just all these like fictional books. And I was like, where were these?
So your parents were trying to be too academic with you.
Yeah.
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 Not a lot of kids like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
and there's a lot of like, see, I don't want to turn this into a therapy session, but there's a lot of like deeper issues there.
It's funny. Every author tells us, they're like, well, I had some trauma and then I decided.
Yeah.
it's not just you.
Loads of trauma.
So, I want to chat a little bit about your book, Symbol of Hope. It's your debut novel. We were so lucky to get to be on the art team, and I privately messaged you and said, this book is really special.
Yeah.
And it's going to take you so far. So I would love to hear in your words, like what you want our listeners to hear about it. And then I'm going to really grill you some questions about this.
Yeah. So it's very, Regency, fantasy, romance, swoon worthy. That I didn't know what a trope was until I joined bookstagram. So, I really learned that with this book. So, there's, adventure, secrets, you have your sassy and strong, Princess FMC, who's also, discovering who she is and what she's meant to do and be in the world. You have your romance, you have your, Prince Charming, and then you have, his mysterious bodyguard that you just can't like put your finger on, but you feel this.
The bodyguard
Yes.
trope does it for me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. It's such a good one. So, I think immediately, that destined love, kicks in and you don't realize it until it's too late. And there's a lot of twists and turns that weren't essentially like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I didn't do it on purpose.
Right. The character did it, right?
Yeah, the characters do it to me all the time. I didn't realize it was a slow burn until I was on my like third read through. And I was like, oh shit. On my stories on Instagram, I was like, I think I wrote a slow burn romance on accident. Yeah, it's just, it's good if you want like just an escape. Like you want to be a princess, just for however long it's going to take for you to read it. You want to swoon, you want to laugh. I feel like it's a good read for that.
It is, but I mean, I think and you kind of just hit the nail on the head. She's almost trying to escape from herself a little bit too.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
she is living this princess dream and kind of leaves this life of being a peasant, essentially, she's trying to figure out who she is as this new person. So one thing I really loved about the book, though, is the story of second chances and second chance romance. And I don't even know if I would call this second chance romance. I would call it more second chances. So what gave you the idea to put that in a book? Because I think that really resonates with people. Everyone had someone that got away, right?
Yeah. So I will say in the original manuscript, that is how it played out. It wasn't in the way, that it reads today. And I will also say the way it ends right now didn't end like that a couple months ago. I originally, yeah.
Okay, so offline, I need to know how it originally ended.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for
So, or do you want me to? Okay, I'll tell you later.
Tell me later, because anyone that's listening, I don't want them to know anything about the book.
I think, it was just like, it's a fantasy, you want your dream and your happily ever after to come true. And I think that really suited this story, there was always that like connection to her past. And I think a good way to have resolved it was to have part of it come back and to come into fruition.
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't even say what I think I really liked about it, she didn't necessarily get her happily ever after. She got as happy as she could get.
Yeah. She did.
Life,
she definitely did.
It felt very realistic instead of being like, oh, we're in love and everything's great. Because I mean, there's some stuff that happened, you guys.
I know.
There's a lot.
No spoilers. Summer coming up because now it's time to read.
Yeah.
So, this is called Our Nerdiest Thing. And so one thing I'm really curious about is which of the characters from this book loves music and what's their favorite band?
So I want to say Alana's a big Taylor Swift fan. Mainly because she's very, girl power, I need this, music to motivate me for the next day because who knows what's going to come crashing into me.
Right.
Or who I'm going to crash into. I was trying to think about like Alden and Darian. I think Alden would be more into like, I don't know if you know NF. He's like a rapper singer.
Yeah.
kind of like the more
See, I
broody
thought
kind of
Alden
stuff.
listened to like Tool.
Tool, like classic rock. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and Prince Darian listens to hardcore rap, but he's actually racist.
Yeah, 100%. Secretly, until it pops up.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So speaking of Princess Alana, it's Alana, right? Not Elena.
Alana, yes.
Okay.
Alana.
So would you rather be Alana the peasant or Alana the princess? Because they both have
That's
really
like,
great parts of her life.
yeah. That's a tricky one because the idea of being a princess is so fun, but then when you get into the politics of it, you're like, can I essentially handle making decisions that will impact thousands of people?
Right.
But then it's like, but you can wear pretty gowns and read in a library all day. And
I know, it's like our dream come true, right?
Yeah.
I could switch the gowns for sweats, like some joggers.
Yeah.
I'll wear like a
corset.
sequiny top, with it, but like I want to sit in joggers
Yeah.
and read.
Yeah, if maybe we can just do a little twist. We just add our own clothes.
Right. Yeah,
We
exactly.
can wear slippers. But then the idea of being Alana as, a peasant, it just seems like quiet and simple. And she would have, I don't know what I
I
can
know.
say.
I
what
was
I
going to
can't
say
say.
No
she
spoilers.
does live a very simple life, and when she does become the princess, she kind of dodges the hard part of peasant life.
Yeah, she does because there are things she would have faced that she did escape basically just in time.
Right.
So
yeah, 100%.
yeah. So
So
it's a tricky one.
it is. Would you say that you identify more with Prince Darian, who's your Prince Charming in the story, or with his musky, hulky guard, Alden?
I think I'm very biased and I have to say Alden.
Right. Yeah.
Just writing him was an absolute, he took some development, he started kind of rough. But when I got him and he just started flowing, I was like, okay, yeah, he won my heart.
Yeah.
No one else can ever compare.
Yeah. I gotta say I kind of agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we know that you DNF'd Akatar, which is fine. No, we're not going to call you out or anything. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So, knowing that you DNF'd that is a segue actually, but what are your favorite types of stories to read? So because not every book is for everybody, and it's fine that you DNF'd that book. Just because it's popular doesn't mean you have to finish it. So what are your favorite stories to read and what are your favorite books?
Yeah, so it definitely depends on my mood.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Too.
I love, sports romances, rom-coms, contemporary romances. I'm also a big like psychological thriller, murder mystery. So it depends. I haven't read like dystopian in a while, but I lived off those in high school.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good dystopian that I've read lately. I think the best dystopian I've read in the last year would be The Bonds That Tie. It's a kind of a dystopian
Yeah, I would
future.
say that too.
And it's Amber, it's a why choose, but it's paranormal romance, and the why choose is for a reason. So
okay.
it's a very, very
It's really
good
good.
series.
It
Yeah,
is.
we actually just made our book club read it so we could read it again.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And actually her new series, I've only read the 2 novellas, but it's shaping up to be kind of dystopian as well.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to know. I'm always taking book recs because, like I said, my reading is very like up and down right now.
Yeah, it's hard because I have to be in the mood for something and I'll shut a book knowing that I'm going to come back to it, but I'm like, I just can't do it right now.
Yeah. Like I'm really bad at like hitting 70%, putting it down, and then never picking it up again. I'm like, this has to stop. This is a problem.
Yeah, because the
That would
ending is
stress me
sometimes
out.
the best part.
See, I will finish a book no matter how much I dislike it or am not enjoying it. Like I have to finish it, even though maybe I'd rather be reading something else.
If I have just learned that I have too much I want to read something I don't want to read.
Yeah,
And if
that's
I've
true.
got to 40% and you've not hooked me, you're not going to.
Yeah.
Right. And your book might be really great for someone else, but it's just not the book for me.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
I need to have that
I
attitude.
need
but
to get there.
I just,
Fine.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
I've never DNF'd a book.
I don't think I have
Ever.
either, honestly.
Well, now you're making me and Amber look bad.
I know.
I look bad. I'm the one that's wasted all that time on books that I
DNF'd
didn't
one
like.
Right. So Amber, we talk about obviously books, but we talk about other nerdy things that we love too, especially fandoms that we love to be a part of. So we would
Mhm.
love to hear what fandoms you are a part of.
I feel like there's a ton.
See
So
all
I don't
your
know if you can
Funkos
see
behind-
my Funkos.
List them all in alphabetical
Is
order,
that
please.
group back there that I see?
Yeah.
And
So
it looks like
you
you
know.
got some Stranger Things too.
Yeah, it's lots of Doctor Who, Stranger Things.
I was gonna say, do I have bad eyesight? Because I
the-
cannot see.
Yeah,
There's in the fandoms. That's how I can tell
Oh,
what it
okay.
is.
yeah.
And you guys.
I'm a nerd too, but I still can't see.
I'm a blind nerd. Yeah.
So who's your favorite doctor, Amber?
David Tennant,
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're correct.
I'm so glad he's coming. I don't know if it's gonna be for the whole season, but he
Oh,
is
I didn't
coming
know
back.
that.
You didn't know that? Oh, he's coming back.
Okay, I'm running behind. That would get me to catch up.
There
for
are
sure.
some. Yeah, I didn't watch the last season, but then I saw he was returning, and I was like, "All right, you guys got me."
So cute.
So you love Doctor Who and Stranger
Mhm.
Things, I guess.
Yeah,
And Marvel.
A little bit,
Groot.
a little bit. Yeah, he's somewhere.
I mean, I can point him out for you from here.
It's also, I have like all my Sailor Moon figures and a bunch of Disney princess stuff.
Oh, that's
I have more. There's stuff everywhere. My husband and I are also huge like Pokemon plush collectors. I don't know if you've seen my stories. The entire back of our couch is flooded. Like it's
That's
bad.
awesome.
Yeah, there's just a whole slew of things I'm into, it's just, but I'm also very like, I go through waves.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I think we're all three the same.
Yeah.
The three of us are that same way too. So we're going to do a couple of speed rounds. The first one is our nerdy and dirty speed round. So I'm just going to give you a prompt and don't think about it. Just first thing that pops into your head. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Favorite fandom.
Sailor Moon.
Favorite female main character.
Ripley.
I don't know where Ripley's. What?
From Alien. I thought of Alien.
Oh,
movie.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Most binge-worthy book series.
Hunger Games.
That's a good one. Most binge-worthy TV series.
Game of Thrones up until the last season.
That's
I only got as
I've heard
far
that a
as
lot.
them cutting a horse's head off. I think I was like 5 episodes in. The brother and sister were fucking each other. A horse lost its head, and I was like, I think it's done.
Yeah, I never started because of the brother sister stuff.
Yeah.
Book character that you would get nerdy and dirty with.
Oh, if I can say my own.
Yeah.
I would say either Alden or Ash from my upcoming release.
Favorite slow burn book or slow burn series?
I really enjoyed recently it was Frost
Yeah,
by C.M.
C.M.
Crawford.
Crawford. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't read that one.
haven't either.
Add it to the list. The list,
Yeah.
the TBR. A fantasy world power that you would want to have.
I really like fire wielding, like elemental powers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Supernatural, the TV show. Yay or nay?
Oh, yay.
Oh, yay.
Are you a Sam girl or a Dean girl?
The Dean.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
a Dean girl, but I'm a Jared.
Yeah.
Like in real life.
Yeah.
We've done tons of supernatural cons, and Jared in real life is so freaking adorable
He
that you
is,
have
yeah.
to love him.
Yeah.
Don't get
He's
me wrong,
cute.
Jensen Ackles is just as hot in real life, but
Oh,
there's
Yeah.
something
He's
about Jared.
fine.
He's fine. Yeah. Jared Padalecki, you just like want him to like buy you a beer and feed you grapes. Like,
Oh,
it's so cute.
See, I
that
just
sounds like a
wanna-
good time.
It's like a big lap dog. Like
I know
just wanna,
exactly. He's feeding me grapes.
Smut or plot?
Smut.
I
Mhm.
respect you more.
I feel bad. Favorite childhood book?
Like I said, Reading growing up wasn't easy on me. So I'd have to go with what I fell in love with first, which is The Hunger Games.
Nice. What are you currently reading, or what is the last book you finished and loved?
Okay, so I don't think she'll mind me saying this. It is an arc for KM Gillis. She wrote Running Into You, and it's just so cute. It's such a good like rom-com with its smutty moments, and it's just perfect.
When does it come out?
I believe it's June 5th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's very soon. Yeah.
Cool.
I keep forgetting that it's the end of May.
Yeah.
Like June
Yes.
tomorrow. Yeah, that's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have one more speed round. This is fantasy tropes. I'm going to give you a trope and you just say yay or nay, whether you're into it or not.
Okay.
Fated mates,
Yay.
enemies to lovers,
Oh yeah. Yay.
forbidden love,
Yay.
class differences, like between
Yeah.
fantasy species,
Yeah. Yay.
love triangles,
Nay. No. Read enough in my YA years.
secret identity or hidden identity,
Yay.
social commentary,
Yay.
true love's kiss or the magical power of love,
Nay. I just think it's too outplayed.
lovers on opposite sides of a war,
Yay.
reluctant companions on a quest.
Yay.
What do you think your favorite fantasy trope is, or just in general?
Enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell Amber the trope we learned about at Imaginarium that everybody thought was
Oh my
so
gosh.
funny?
Okay.
She's heard of it first.
Okay. So we did we were at Imaginarium Book Festival and we moderated the panels. And so one of the topics that they had for the panels was tropes. And so we would say the name of a trope and then the authors had to guess like what does that trope actually mean.
And these are
Okay.
not,
It's not enemies to lovers.
it's not like,
Right.
Okay.
Well, some of them were like True Love's
but
Kiss.
none of
and-
those got picked.
but none of those got picked. So one of the ones that got picked is called Pivotal Wake Up. Have you heard of that, or like would you even know what that is?
No, I have no idea.
So we got that one. We actually got it a couple of times, I think. And so one of the authors was like, I think it's when, you realize something at a pivotal moment, or like you make a decision, you wake up at a really important time. And I was like, that's a really good definition. But the actual definition is for when vampires wake up in the morning, like when they wake up at night, I guess. And they wake up like 90 degrees and like sit up at 90 degrees. Like that's what it was.
Wow. Okay.
The people that made the organizers that did this, they were like, we literally looked up tropes. Like we looked up definitions like online, and all the authors were like, I don't like this game. I don't know this. I don't want to do this anymore.
That is
But that one was my
amazing.
favorite. But anyway, so that's a trope if you want to use that in your next project.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Upcoming
possible.
contemporary romance.
Yes, your upcoming contemporary romance with a vampire.
Yeah, I can add that in. Mhm.
Speaking of that, you did mention that your next book has, you just
Yeah.
mentioned Ash. Can you tell us anything
Yeah.
about what you're writing next?
Absolutely. So this novel is called Forever Crushed. It's part of the Forever series that I'm going to start. First book, revolves around Gwen and Ash. So Gwen has had a crush on Ash since high school. She didn't realize that they attended the same college until the beginning of their junior year. And it was kind of like, just a brief run in. She looks at him and she's like, oh, kind of dying on the inside. I feel like the side character, Chrissy, I feel like everyone's going to fall in love with her. She's the best friend, everybody wants. So she's kind of catcalling and teasing him, Gwen's dying on the inside. And then his perspective, he got over a rough breakup, his girlfriend cheated on him. So it's a lot of like, I need to work on myself. He noticed her, but he's like, I can't do anything about it. Until they discover they share the same biochem class.
Oh.
So it's very like
Kim. That would never
Yeah.
happen in my life.
So it's dual POV.
Dual POV. Yes. You know, I say it's contemporary. It's 1,000 times spicier than Symbol of Hope, and I think that in itself is going to hook people.
I mean, your scene in Symbol of Hope was not bad, Amber. I mean, I gotta say,
thank you.
It got a little closed door, but it got me where I needed to be before the door closed.
Yeah. This will get you there and over.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Scarlett St. Clair. If you need somebody, if you need somebody to act those out and like make sure
Yeah.
it's realistic, just send them my way. Our nerdiest thing at gmail.com. I'll make sure that they're, you know.
But email for Whitney. Text
For Whitney
to try out.
Does this make sense?
I can make that sacrifice for the greater.
She'll take one for the
She's
team.
reading a lot of why choose.
She has
So.
to.
It's only the bonds that die, just over and over and over again. Just the one.
No, it's just the 5.
Oh my goodness. So Amber, do you have any other events or festivals or projects or anything coming up in this coming year?
Yeah, I'm hoping to go to Lust and Low. I'm waiting to hear back. Yeah. I do have Forever Crushed. I'm hoping for October. My next release is with Alpha Readers, so I got things rolling. It's just going to take a little time, but I'm really excited to see what happens and where it goes.
Oh, so exciting.
I will say, not to pressure you, but your ARC box was so good for Symbol of Hope. I really hope you'll do boxes again, because it was really, really sweet, everything that you put in here, and like the little touches that you didn't really quite understand what they were until you read the book. And I actually went back and looked through everything that had came in the box after I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was so well thought out. It was awesome.
Oh, I love that. I appreciate
no pressure,
that.
but you know,
Yeah.
do that again.
Yeah, I got ideas rolling. It's
Awesome.
you know.
So now that everybody wants to read it, your Symbol of Hope, where can we buy it?
So it is on Amazon. You can get a paperback, a hardback. It's on Kindle Unlimited. And I just discovered today it's also on Barnes and Noble.
You just now found out? Oh,
I just discovered.
They were like, we need that Amber Paige.
Yeah. The art group was like, Amber, did you know your book's on Barnes and Noble?
Yeah, I was like, what? I got a little nervous for a second. I was like, oh.
That's good. I guess that just means that their buyers were like, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a very happy, shocking surprise.
Can we find you any besides Instagram? Is there anywhere else we can find you online?
I do have a baby TikTok, but
A baby.
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I feel like I have a still in the womb TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok's a challenge.
It's hard.
My TikTok's been taking a nap for months now.
You send us TikToks, like very many at all.
I know.
Like,
She sent us 2 yesterday. What are you
I know
about?
she must be getting back on the bandwagon or something, but it's been a while. She sent us like 4 and 5 a day.
That's
so on our podcast, which is called Our Nerdiest Thing, obviously, we at the end of every episode like to discuss what our nerdiest thing of the week was. So it could be anything. It could be something you read, something you did, something you said. But we'd love to know what your nerdiest thing of the week is.
So I'm very heavy into Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom right now.
Yeah. So you'll think this is funny, Amber. Me and my son have an agreement. Once he saves up $30, I'm going to pay for the other half, so that we can play it together this summer.
Yes, that's brilliant.
It's hard for me to, because the Zelda games are always so expensive, and it's hard for me to drop that without the kids earning it.
Yeah,
Although
it is.
Will really be mine.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous though. I've been trying to avoid spoilers because I heard the story gets a little crazy, but I'm falling down the Zelda rabbit hole again.
I can't wait to talk to you about that then. Whenever
that'd
be fun.
Well, thank you so much, Amber, for being on the podcast and coming and chatting with us. It's been really fun to talk to you. I could listen to you answer questions about your book. I feel like all night long. You have a very soothing voice to listen to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
So when
much.
you send her the email about your positions, also talk on
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay.
send the voice note.
Yeah.
reading those
I'll
pages
kind of
for
go
me.
through it and just like, I don't know if this position works or if he should be over here or,
I can help with
someone's
that.
gonna be like, this thing take off, and they're gonna be like, well, that Whitney girl kept asking for sex positions.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
She kind of, got the ball rolling for me.
Amber, thank you so much. It was a blast.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. And I hope to see you guys in Less Than the Low. I think that'll be
Yeah.
We'll grab
ton of
dinner
fun.
and drinks. I don't
For
know
sure.
if you have a cocktail of choice, but we will buy you one.
I'll drink anything.
Okay, perfect. Well, drinks it is. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Amber. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. You too.
Bye.
Bye.